Hi everybody, it is Wednesday, August 26, 2020, and I decided tonight that I'm going to start uploading videos, updating you on what we do in class each day. And the reason I decided to do this is because I got an email from a student today asking how they could stay caught up in class when they are supposed to be out self-quarantining waiting for a COVID test. And it dawned on me that I have work for students in person when they're in class on their designated days and when they're virtual, but I don't actually have a way to augment the teaching that they miss when they are out for absences. So I decided today that in order to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and post a video every day of what we've done to try to keep them caught up. So if you are absent on a typical update here, you would want to watch this video. If you are in class, there's no need for you to watch the video unless you want me to re-explain to you what we did. But for this particular video, I thought what I would do is kind of explain my process and why we're having these videos, and then give you a rundown of everything we've done in class this week and everything that will be due by Monday to kind of get everybody on the same page. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the parent letter that I emailed last week. And so I'm speaking more to the parents on this particular situation. I sent an email home with a link to a letter that explains all of our classroom procedures and all of the things that we'll be doing in class this year. And at the bottom of that email, there was a link. And the link takes you to a syllabus confirmation page. The reason I need you to fill that out is because there's a blurb in that confirmation that asks for permission to show your students videos. We won't be watching anything over a PG-13 rating, but the district does require us to ask for permission. So that's the first thing it does. The second thing it does is it asks you to tell me about your student through your eyes. I like to get to know my students, and it's really hard this year because we're not able to walk around and have the same kind of banter conversations that we typically have. So this piece is really important to me. There is also a section in there for you to ask me questions if you've got specific questions either about your student or about the class or about me. And as parents have been asking questions, I've been making sure to reach out to them and answer those questions. We will have an open house, so you'll have time to ask questions then too. But if you have something pressing that you'd like to talk to me about now, you could do it through there. So that's the parent letter. The second thing that we talk about this week, and we'll talk about it tomorrow for my BB students, are school supplies. So for school this year, you're going to need a 3-ring binder with some paper and some tab dividers, 5 preferably, a composition notebook, and I don't care what color it is, you can pick whatever you want, and some paper and some writing utensils. That's really all we're looking for. You'll want to make sure you have all that stuff in class on Monday because we will begin instruction on Monday and we will begin using that composition notebook on day 1. And then I'll help the students get organized with their binders then as well. So the first thing that we did in class on Monday and the first thing that we'll do in class tomorrow is the welcome slideshow. It's a PowerPoint that I give my students, and it just kind of introduces them to the class and to me and to our expectations and those kinds of things. The other thing it does is it talks about the importance of email etiquette and how important it is to be polite and thorough when you're emailing your teachers. So at the end of that PowerPoint, there is a lesson that I asked the students to complete called the etiquette lesson. That is something that the 8A students should have already completed, and the BB students will have time to work on Friday. Students will also be asked to create 3 online accounts. One is for USA Test Prep that they probably used last year. The school wipes out all accounts from previous years because what ends up happening is students start creating multiple accounts because they can't remember their username and passwords. And so because these students have so many different accounts, we can't track their progress because all their progress is all over the place in all these different accounts. So we go ahead and clean those out every year. So there are instructions on how to create a brand new USA Test Prep account. You'll also need to create a No Red Ink account if you've never used that before. If you have used it before, you can log in with your current account, or if you can't remember your username and password, you probably used your Google account to create it the first time, so go ahead and try that. And then the third account that you'll have to create is one on Common Lit. This one is really nice because when we push out stories to read virtually on your virtual days, these are formatted for you to be able to read easily online. A lot of times stories that are published online are really hard to read because they're copy and pasted from a book or from somebody that typed it, and the text is really small, there's no line breaks. But with a Common Lit, that's not the case. The other thing about Common Lit that's really nice is it allows you to annotate what you've read, and it allows you to answer questions as you go. So with all three of those accounts, you need to make sure that once you create the account, you add my class. If you don't add my class, you can't get your points because I don't know that you're part of that group. So at the end of this week, I will go into SIS and I will give everybody points for creating those accounts. If you see that you have a 0 and you know you created the account, chances are you didn't add yourself to my class. Once you do that, I can go in and give you your points. The next thing that we'll talk about with BB students tomorrow, and I've already talked at length with my AA students, is that you'll need a novel to read for each quarter. For first quarter, it's your choice. You can pick any book you want. Pick a book that you've been wanting to read or you have on the bookshelf you haven't had time to read. You can pick up something from the library. You can pick up something from our school library. It can be an ebook. It can be a paper book. It doesn't matter to me. As long as it has 150 pages, we're good to go. I am going to ask that you don't read too far ahead because we will be using that book in class as we learn new skills. So if you're an avid reader, you might want to have a book just for class that you can read and feel comfortable starting and stopping, and then have other books that you can keep at home. I know I tend to have 2 or 3 books going at a time. So as far as books go, if you would like to get a book from the school library, they are not allowing book shopping. But what you can do is go to the link that's posted on Canvas, and Miss Oliva has set up a great website so that you can go in and either request books specifically from her, or she will help you find books that you're interested in. And the best part is that she'll even do curbside service right to our classroom, so you don't even have to go down to the library. So you'll need to have a book ready and in your hands on Monday because we will start reading in class on Monday, and you'll be using your composition notebook for that as well. You'll also have some Jamboard assignments. AA Day students have not started these yet because these are things that you'll be doing virtually on your Thursday and Friday, and my BB students probably should have already completed them. They're very easy and quick, but it gives me, again, something fun just to get to learn who my students are. And then the very last assignment that I'm asking everybody to complete is an All About Me PowerPoint. We've had some issues today and earlier this week with technical glitches, both on my end and on Canvas's end and on Google's end, but I think we've got everything worked out. It is designed for you to open up a template and just click and drop, so you shouldn't have to go in and recreate a brand new PowerPoint. Once you create that PowerPoint, you can submit it on Canvas and then you're done. So there's a lot that we have going on this week, but I think once we get through this week and we get all of the housekeeping stuff out of the way, we'll be able to get class started and we'll be able to do a lot of really fun things that I think students will enjoy. So I will shoot to post a new video every single day. Again, if you were not absent, you don't need to watch the video. If you were absent, be looking for those videos. It might be a good idea to subscribe to the channel just so that you know when a new video is posted. At the end of the school year, if you want to unsubscribe, I totally understand. But this way you can at least stay connected to updates that I give.